Okay, in this video we're going to take a look at two relationships that you need to recognize throughout the entire course of geometry. And when you see these, they're basically hidden shortcuts that make life so much easier for you as long as you can recognize them without them being pointed out to you. The first one we're going to look at is called complementary angles. And complementary angles just means two or more angles that add up to be 90 degrees. Okay, 90 degrees exactly. Now, when you see 90 degrees, that's what we call a right angle. And many of you are familiar with this terminology, and we show it with a little box like that. A little box means it's exactly 90 degrees from this ray all the way over to this ray. Okay. Now, what you're going to see is a problem that has a drawing similar to this, and then all of a sudden you will see that this little angle right here is labeled as 60 degrees, something like that. Now what you need to do is automatically go, wait a second, if this distance is 60 degrees right here, then what's this distance right there? It may not be labeled, but it's a useful piece of information you're going to have to come up with. And you can a lot of times do this in your head. I know that if it's 60 degrees from this side to this side, in that angle right there, and the entire thing is 90 degrees, then all I have to do is 90 take away 60, and I get 30 degrees left over. So this angle must be 30. Okay. And you're going to see these things show up, and a lot of times they're not labeled. You don't notice that they're there. But if you can train yourself to just look for them and just fill that information in, it could be something very useful down the road that you use to figure out the problem. Okay. Now supplementary, very similar. Supplementary means two angles that equal 180 when put together. And supplementary angles are easy to recognize. It's also called a straight angle, which just means it's a straight line like this right here. Okay, if you see a straight line anywhere, well, that means that a straight line is 180 degrees, just like a full circle is 360. And so that means from here all the way around to here is 180. Now, what you'll typically see is some piece of this given to you. For example, what if this was 50, and it said this little angle right here was 50 degrees? Well, if I see a 50-degree angle and it's attached to this straight line, then I know I can find the missing piece over here, this one right here. I can figure out that chunk by taking 180 minus 50, and I get 130 degrees. So this angle right here is 130 degrees. Okay? So that's an example of something you're going to have to use a lot of in the coming months as you study geometry.